song from the letter to the Hebrews. After he ascended, not long after Jesus left them and was lifted from their sight, a letter went out to the Hebrews in the middle of their fight. For the temple still was standing and the priests still worked the fire. But the writer told the people, he is coming in a little while. God spoke through his Son. God once spoke through prophets' voices, through the law and temple flame, through the priests and ancient altars, calling Israel by his name. But in those days a Son was given, walking where the prophets trod, speaking what the fathers longed for, the final living word of God. In a very little while the promise would appear. What the Father saw from far away was standing very near. The shadows all were fading as the morning filled the sky. 2,000 years behind us now, we see the reason why. The warning to the Hebrews, still the temple stood in glory. Sacrifices filled the air. Yet the writer warned the Hebrews, something greater had drawn near. Priests were changing, law was shifting, old commands were passing through. For a better hope was rising in the work that Christ would do. In a very little while the promise would appear. What the Father saw from far away was standing very near. The shadows all were fading as the morning filled the sky. 2,000 years behind us now, we see the reason why. The true temple, Christ had entered heaven's temple, not by blood of goats and lambs, but by his own perfect offering, fulfilling what the Father planned. Now he sits at God's right hand, till his enemies fall beneath. All authority in heaven and earth given to the Prince of Peace. That generation they endured through trial and sorrow, waiting for the promise near. For the writer told that generation, hold your faith and persevere. For the fathers died in promise, seeing glory from afar. But that generation standing there would see the morning star. Mount Zion rose before them, not a stone, but heaven above. A kingdom never shaken, built on grace and built on love. No more walls between the nations, no more temple made by hands. For the kingdom of the risen King now reaches every land. In a very little while the promise came to be. The kingdom that the prophets saw now spreads across the sea. The earth belongs to Jesus, just like the prophet said it would. And the knowledge of his glory now fills the earth for good. 2,000 years behind us, still his kingdom grows today. The stone that crushed the kingdoms will never pass away.
Listening and for your support. If this resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If it raised any questions for you, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to chat.